Welcome to Bet on Yourself. I'm Andy Olen. I'm so glad you're here. Super excited to be launching this Substack post and newsletter and content for you. And this is a passion project of mine. I am so excited to connect with and help and reach out to managers and leaders and other great corporate professionals who may be in their 35 to 45-year-old age range, and they look out ahead and they say, you know what, I got to probably work another 20 to 30 years, and how in the hell am I going to be able to do this corporate gig for another 20 to 30 years? When I was in my mid 40s, I had that same question. I had made it to the top of the healthcare industry, working at great companies like Abbott Laboratories, Roper Technologies, and then finishing my corporate career at Siemens Healthineers. And it was 2019, and I was the senior leader for the North American lab diagnostics business. It was a $1.5 billion business. I was 44 years old at the time, and I was looking around and waking up every day saying, what the hell am I doing? I don't like doing this job. I don't even know if I'm very good at this job. And I was getting up and putting slides together for a CEO presentation or to guesstimate what the sales were going to be 6 months down the road, at the same time trying to close the quarter and get all of our revenue in and our bookings in, and asked every second of the day, how much is it going to be? And if you're underwater a little bit, what actions are you taking? What countermeasures are you taking? All really good questions. And for me, it was just slowly killing me. I really and literally, quite literally, was waking up in the morning and just feeling this dread that so many people do. I got to get back on this hamster wheel and keep running. The CFO who was working for me at the time, his first name was Christian, and Christian had this analogy, which is a good one, and he actually shared this with my boss at the time. He said, Andy is on a bicycle and he's trying to pedal up this mountain. And you can try to light a match or burn a fire underneath his ass, but it's not necessarily going to make him pedal any faster. He's pedaling as fast as he can. And the point was a good one, and that was that you can only do so much when you're in those roles. And when you're in management and leadership roles and you have all these things going on, you can't work more hours in the day and try to get better results. You can't radically change your approach and all of a sudden change the trajectory of how many dollars are going to come in or how many deals you're going to close at the end of the period. You're not going to automatically change your personality and then everyone's going to love working for you. It just doesn't happen that way. So you can light a fire underneath anyone who's already pedaling really fast on that mountain bike up the hill. And once their legs are burnt out, they just can't go any faster. And that's what I felt like. I couldn't go any faster. I couldn't do anything different that was going to make a big difference for the business, but more importantly, for my own happiness. And I wanted to reclaim my happiness. And as I thought about it back in 2019, I said to myself, I want to fall back in love with business. I loved business. I loved capitalism. And I loved the people side of it and the teaming and the success and doing cool things. And when you work in big companies, doing things at scale. But when you get to a high enough role or you get into that management position where you start to really feel boxed in, you literally go into your office and the four walls of your office, once that door shuts, they seem to collapse on you like the garbage compactor in Star Wars, soon to crush Han, Luke, Leia, and Chewbacca. For all you Star Wars folks out there, I hope you enjoyed that reference. Nevertheless, that office was feeling like it was becoming a jail cell. The endless calls that just seemed like the same conversation over and over without any forward progress was eating away at my soul. So much so where I really felt that I either had to quit this lifestyle or this lifestyle was going to quit me. And it wasn't a good feeling. I felt my health, my stress, my joy was just going away. And I got 3 younger kids at home, and I don't want to miss out on their world and their experience and their youth as well. And so at some point I said, I got to find a way to free myself of whatever you want to call this, the prison-like feeling, the stress, the agony of being in a middle management or a senior leadership role and looking out in the future and you got 20 more years of doing this or 30 more years of doing this, and you just scratch your head. For me, I pull out my remaining hair and I ask the question, how in the world am I going to get through all this? And for me, the answer wasn't trying to figure out how to do it all differently within that corporate environment. It was something a little bit more radical, and it worked. It was about stepping away from that corporate juggernaut, and it was actually starting my own business, becoming a solopreneur or a business of one. And then also what serendipitously or surprisingly came about when I started my own business was when you have full control over your schedule, you create independence. When you have full control over the people that you want to work with and the projects you want to work on, you pick the things that bring you joy. And when you have full control over your finances, you can create what I call self-wealth really quickly. I didn't realize the combination of being a solopreneur or even an entrepreneur, if I wanted to bring on a couple people into my business, being a small business owner, being in charge of my own schedule and my own life, also unlocked this incredible self-wealth opportunity where the financial benefits of running your own business and succeeding in your own business far eclipse success in a corporate job, which not only has a lot of constraints or boundaries or regulations on your time and what you choose to do, and that impacts your joy, your creativity, and your innovation. But working in a corporation also can severely restrict your ability to save and to create wonderful wealth and upside through financial investing and also the accounting treatments that you can bring to your solopreneur business or your small business that you run yourself. And so I've lived this experience now of feeling that dread of going into the office, so that prison cell of an office, of dealing with all the BS of working in a corporate environment. And I realized a couple things. One, there are people out there that thrive in that environment. And I say good for you. But I also recognize it's just not for everyone. It wasn't for me. If it was for me, I'd still be there and I'd still be doing it at a high level and probably accruing continued success in that world. But what I found and what I taught myself and what I teach others through training and executive coaching is that you can figure out a different way. That you can figure out a way to build your own business, to monetize your experience. And when you start to bolt on the self-wealth opportunities that come with a small business and smart investing, that powerful combination is going to create incredible wealth for you. And I use wealth generally, wealth in terms of time, independence, freedom to do the things you want to do, and also financial wealth. And so now, after leaving the corporate world and have started my own business back in 2019, North Hall Partners, I'm 6 years into this thing, and I basically already had my corporate retirement, and now I'm just working my hobby. I'm doing the things I want to do with the people I want to work with, and I now want to share my learnings, my lessons, and also my observations from working with a lot of other people, helping them through and getting them from their corporate management or leadership position, which again felt very limiting for them after a certain amount of time, into a solopreneur, entrepreneurial venture that's also creating self-wealth along the way. And I want to share those stories with you. I want to share the tips and the tricks, and also want to share with you where I made some missteps or I didn't realize something, and I don't want you to take those same missteps. I want you to learn from me and learn from our community together. So through writing and through podcasts like this or videos like this, I want to share with you. I certainly can do that in a one-on-one environment too, through coaching, and we can figure out a coaching plan. Just send me a note, andy@andyolen.com, and we can figure out a great coaching fit and plan for you to help you make this transition from management, leadership, in corporate America to now solopreneurship, a small business of your own, and self-wealth as well. Please subscribe to the Substack. Please subscribe and follow along to the newsletters. Post a comment. Let's build this community of folks that want to be liberated from the structures and sometimes the silliness of the corporate world and are looking forward to that next great 20 to 30 years. I left big corporate America because I was falling out of love. I'd fallen out of love with business. And 6 years into my small business, my solopreneurship, and through the experience of creating self-wealth, I've fallen back in love with business, and I want you to have that same experience. So let's work on this. Join the Substack, follow along, and we'll get after it. I'm looking forward to it.